Travis Wingoodsell, Father's Day is ending. The total or annular solar eclipse over the old world is over, and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has let everybody take the weekend off, except for Elder What's-His-Name, who's saying that fathers protect by listening to the Holy Ghost. But there's another one that caught my attention, and I wasn't sure if I was going to do a video or if I should just have dinner, watch some more The Rookie, Season 1, and then call it a day. But it says, true fatherhood exemplifies Jesus Christ. Yes, because Jesus Christ was the perfect example of fatherhood, wasn't he? Yes, with all his many wives and all his many children, Jesus was the perfect example of fatherhood. I've got a picture for you. It's used by polygamists. I hope I remember to put it in. Let me put it on this thing that these now are no longer, well, that one is. I've sort of gave up on watching the news since Friday. So I've got a lot to catch up on, though weekends are usually slower. There's still the Trump fiasco. So, yeah. So, do we need policemen? Like I said, I'm watching The Rookie. It's on ABC? Or is it CBS? Uh-oh. They're not going to be happy with me misadvertising if I get the wrong channel. TV. Yeah, ABC. Yeah, I got it right the first time. I caught it on the second season and thought it was kind of cool. It's got Nathan Fillion, who's Firefly, and the other one, because there was a TV series and a movie, and that was it, and everybody was disappointed that it didn't go longer. It's got Maria Baccarat in there as the madam of the whorehouse, who joins them on their journey, and then she became the reboot queen and so on. But, she was also in Blacklist, so she's done a lot of good stuff. But with all the cop shows that are going away, with the rise of police violence to show how necessary they are on our streets to protect and serve us. They beat us down for our protection. And so lots of cop shows are going away. Bad Boys, What You Gonna Do? That TV show, which has been a long-lasting show, is gone, I guess. I don't know if The Rookie is going away. I think it's actually pretty helpful because it shows Nathan Fillion in the role of a rookie as an older man, and you see every aspect of being a rookie cop, about the temptation to be a criminal as a cop, the temptation to be abusive, and so forth, and it shows you a concept of how things could be. The The question I ask, though, is, do we need cops patrolling our streets? Do we need even cops? People always try to make things better, but keeping the system in place. They just demand change within the system, but demand that are wanting the system to remain, but demand that it improve itself. Similar to women, they want men to change, but they want men to stay men. Can't be done, women, and that's the point. Cops. If you're gonna keep the establishment of the police force, you're always going to have those who cause an escalation to what we have now in our nation. Even if you force them to change with laws that are very specific, and it's useless to do that. And that's probably part of the problem, is that, Congress has been making all sorts of minute laws over specific behavior actions, and that's not necessary. The Constitution has an umbrella of protection of life, liberty, and property, but they destroy the Constitution by creating minute laws over every action in our lives. And so cops, I think, are going to be concerned about this, as many are walking off the job and in protest. But when you have people forced to memorize volumes of books as to how to behave and what not to do, it's futile. It's ridiculous. And that's what we're running into. The Pharisees, if you're familiar with them from the New Testament, created hedge laws around the law of Moses, which even the law of Moses was 613 laws. And so imagine how many hedge laws of the Pharisees there were. But Jesus showed the example by saying, no, you guys, stop it. You've strayed from the central focus and purpose of the law of Moses. Love. You've got people paranoid that they're going to violate the law, and you come down and punish them when they do violate a law, when they didn't even know they violated a law, and you just want to punish them to put them in their place and control them. Stop it. And he really rips them a new one in Matthew 23. The whole chapter. Hypocrites. And that's the problem we're facing in America, is I quickly realized, having moved around to several different states in my lifetime, that laws change from state to state. We are not united as a nation, and each state has become their own law, and the federal government has just, we're not going to mess with it unless you mess with us. And it's like, what age is an adult? I mean, seriously. It varies from state to state and from particular actions. And particular actions from state to state. We have no clue as to what should be the age of adult that should be standard all across the nation, even though the Constitution was amended to be 21. Or 18, sorry. It was originally 21 and amended to be 18. But yet everybody's trying to push it up again. Smoking and alcohol, for example. Oh, we got to keep kids away from it, so we'll make it 21. We don't want them to have guns and shoot people, so we'll make it 21 before they can go to the store and buy one to go back to their high school and shoot everybody. I turned 18 my senior year, and school was over with in May. So 2 months, I was 18. I mean, seriously? Go that long to finally say, oh, finally I can buy a gun and shoot everybody. The logic is just stupid of these governors. And then it's just, I mean, do we need to have laws against guns? No! We already have laws against assault, taking people's life. It's a crime. It's not complicated. You don't need to have a law saying, oh, you can't have a bump stock, and it can't be this kind of barrel, and it's got to be this length, no, stop it. Don't kill. That's it. It's not complicated. Rights to life, liberty, property. And so do we need cops on our streets? No. Do we need firefighters on our streets? Oh, I think I smell smoke. No, it's just a cigarette. Kid. Smoking. Not our department. No. Both EMTs and firefighters stay at the department. They don't leave until they're called through 911. And yet, for some reason, cops roam our streets. Martial law. Going out giving speeding tickets. Oh, you were speeding on this lone highway. Oh, thank you, officer, for reminding me to drive safely. If you kill somebody with your car, that's a crime. But no, we had to create this business called insurance companies because the federal government took down the organized crime bosses. So they needed a new job. So they went into unions and insurance companies and gambling in the states that allow gambling. And then they come out with see something, say something, as if we've never watched the movie 1984. As if they're not already patrolling. And so when we say we want to defund the police, again, they're still trying to keep the system intact. They just want to force the police to change the way they do things. And so again, do we really need cops? Do we need them patrolling? The courts have the U.S. Marshals Service. That's, when a judge gives a bench warrant for somebody's arrest, the U.S. Marshals go and fulfill that. They stay at their office until the judge comes down with a bench warrant. And then they do other things, witness protection, which there was a show, is it Witness Protection? I think it was like on USA or TNT network or whatever. Witness Protection TV. In Plain Sight. Yeah, what's her name? Molly Shannon. Or Mary Shannon, sorry. That was kind of cool. But the Constitution has nothing to say about police. The sheriff's office was a British thing, and we kicked them out. We did away with the monarchy of Britain. We did away with the government of Britain. Yet we kept the sheriff's office. We didn't establish a militia. We had militias, And they sort of worked, except for Joseph Smith, which, remind you, next week is his Remembrance Day of when he was assassinated by orders of Brigham Young. And of course, the church will not recognize it, therefore. They always wait for July 24th, yay, when the Mormons fled America and murdered the native Indians in Salt Lake Valley to establish their own kingdom in Mexico territory. And make it a state holiday in violation of church and state. Because that's not the founding of Utah. If you're going to do the founding of Utah, you're going to have to talk to the Indians in this land. Navajo are part of Utah, aren't they? And ask them when they founded this land. Then that can be the date for a holiday. But not the Brigham Young. But they own Utah, as the Seagull Gate tells us. They own the government. They turned the tide after the Edmunds-Tucker Act. And they have risen from the dust of hell. So, just something to think about. You know, people don't think of the concept of restructuring society to stop the abusive, cyclical behavior. They want the system to work, but change. Just like Mormons. There are Mormons who are upset. Protect LDS children. Women's rights. Black rights. Gay and lesbian rights. The poor. And on and on. They all want the church to change. Are you sure you want to keep the system in place? Why not just toss the system? But, yeah, if you have to change the leaders of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to do the right thing, to be good, why keep the church? Again, think about it. Everybody keeps demanding the church change. Are you sure it's the true church then? If we have to keep telling the cops to change, do we really need the cops? Or do we need another system? You know, what happened to the militia? Why did that not work? Or did it work and we just stopped it? What happened? With the economy? Are we sure that we want to change the economy but keep it? Because we keep complaining about this and that financially? You keep saying, oh, I missed out on that promotion at work. So mad. Are you sure you want this economy? My mom told me as a kid, this is the best economy that we can come up with. No, Mom. Are we not Mormons? Do we not have this thing that Joseph Smith created called the Law of Consecration that never really got off because he was murdered? Brigham Young did a united order taking away agency. That wasn't the Law of Consecration. If you take away agency, it's not Jesus' church, and it will fail. And so Brigham Young's united order failed because it took away agency. I mean, there was the jeans incident, wasn't there? Where somebody wanted to have designer jeans. And Brigham Young said no. And so the person got designer jeans, and there was a big scandal. And shut down the whole community. I remember talking to a supporter of ordained women. And I told her, did you know about Romans 16? The correct translation. No, we don't talk, shh. What? It's in the scriptures. Jesus' church had all those different offices. We know this as missionaries. But guess who also was in those offices? Who not only held the priesthood up with marriage during cuddle time, but also were in the offices. And ordained women are just like, shh, no. And it's because the president of the organization got excommunicated. And so after she was excommunicated, then the church complied to allow slacks to be worn by women and missionaries. Oh, wow. Way to go, women. You really showed them. And the temple changes. Wow. You really showed them. You no longer get to wear a veil. You no longer have to obey your husband. I'm sure the kids will greatly appreciate the lack of confusion that will now be in the marriage as to who runs the household and who's running it without Lucifer's plan of happiness. No, Mommy, don't beat me. You know, women had it great. Just wait till your father comes home. Everything's solved. Kids obey immediately. I'm so terrified when Daddy comes home because Mom said he's gonna beat me. I remember my kids. I'd come home from school and they would run. You know, little 3-year-old and 1-year-old running to the door. And I open it up and there they are clinging to my legs as if they were beaten. Save us, Daddy! And I'm like, what's going on while I'm away? Nothing! They're just glad to see you. Okay, so are you, I see. I mean, does it have to be a power struggle? Can't you just say, hey, why don't we talk to our kids in a language that they understand by leaving out all the adverbs and prepositional phrases and all those confusing stuff in the English language, and just stick with Dick and Jane. If you don't know, kids, that was before my time. That was my parents' generation of grade school. See Dick run. But yeah, it doesn't need to be a power struggle. I mean, but yeah, do we need the economy? Do you understand the type of economy we have? We haven't stopped slavery. It's now become the staple economy. Because what happens in our businesses, in our work? You have employees who do all the work, and the bosses make all the money. Are you unfamiliar with slavery? That's our economy. They just don't call him a slave owner anymore. He's now a CEO, or a member of the board, or an investment company or corporation, such as the church. And they get to dictate how to enslave the employees and screw the customers with cheap quality products that will break soon, so that people have to continually buy their product to replace it over and over and over again. That's what they did with cars. The 69 Ford truck was a brilliant piece of work, except for the carburetor, combustion engine, which was obsolete even in 69. But then they come out with the Ford Pinto. And I mean, thank goodness for that incident, because that got the financial accountant terminated from his job, which left an opening for my dad, who just barely graduated from Berkeley, to slip right into the job. And so, yeah, he knows all about it. They purposely came out with the Ford Pinto to create a cheaper product that was also cheaper. Kmart also was happy for that situation, as they came out with blue light specials. So, yeah, grade school, you're wearing blue light specials, aren't you? As polite and nice as little kids are to each other. Do we really need this economy? Is it really the best as my mother says it is? No! It's slavery. But it's not going to change, because those in power want to stay in power. Alrighty, so no, it won't be after midnight, because I would have seen it on Saturday after midnight. So I'll have to wait till the clerks show up at work tomorrow to see if Judge Oberg filed something. You know, I learned, no, we don't need the church. If I have to keep telling them to stop it, leave me alone, don't touch me there, then they gotta go. They gotta be punished. They've gotta be held accountable. They've gotta go away. And so that's what I'm waiting from Oberg. It's not a complicated order. The church, everybody has admitted to being involved in criminal behavior against me. Everyone, even the clerks of the federal court, even the judge. By her delaying, she's gotten busted too. And the lawyers for the church got busted because they tried to cover up the money trail. The one thing that they just had to ignore, and they couldn't do it. They had to step in and say, oh, we better cover this up. We don't want this to be exposed. And they couldn't do it. Because they're innocent, of course, right? That's what you do when you're innocent. Let's cover up our crime. It's real simple. You don't need a law for each and every single action that people do. Did you take away somebody's life wrongfully? And what's wrongfully, Travis? Did you have to defend your life against them? Were they trying to take away your life? It's not complicated. Liberty. Somebody holding you hostage. Even if it's the police, with the system in the jails. Seriously? That's a speedy trial? Is you get locked up in jail for an indefinite period of time unless you plead guilty? And then they'll maybe drop the charges so that you get time served after all the time in jail without a trial to show that you were guilty? As people who are innocent have to decide, do I want my life over? Or have I realized that my life is now over? And so I might as well go all the way, even though I'll have nothing to go out into the public with when I get out. Because the police destroyed me with a simple arrest. And yeah, I saw men crying. Not me. I knew exactly what I was doing. And they went and let me go, and then I caught them having paid off the person. They didn't expect me to get out. That's why. How's he ever going to know? He's never getting out. Oops. Somebody dropped several balls, and I took advantage of it. I mean, that's how I got out of isolation. You know, the airport director for Salt Lake? That's where he is. They can keep him there forever. He never gets assigned a defense attorney. He never sees a judge. He never sees outside of his cell. He's just there. He doesn't get to brush his teeth. He doesn't get to take a shower or shave. He has to decide whether he's going to use the mat as a mat or as a pillow. I chose pillow. See, he's not very smart, or they learned from me. I faked a toothache, and they had to put me out into the regular jail, so they decided, well, okay, it's Supermax. Not maximum security, Supermax security. Where Brian David Mitchell and Curtis Allgaier and Easy. Thank you, Easy, for the paper. I hope you're out by now. But, yeah, it's just, we don't need to have the society we have. We don't need to go back to it because coronavirus destroyed it all. No, we don't need to. We can create a whole new system. It'd be awesome. So, alrighty, another day.